Hello guys, I got this video. Today is just a video on conversions I did in 2024. Now, some of these you probably haven't seen. Well, one of them you haven't. Now, I will be going into a bit of detail. These are the sort of major ones, I guess you could say. Because I've done some other ones, but they're not really conversions, they're just sort of small little bits that I've changed really. So we'll end with the tractors, but we'll start with the kit. So here we have a little lawnmower here. Now saw someone on Model Mad who was selling a Siku mower, but a John Deere coloured one. Now as you can tell, the yellow hasn't been done the best, but the green's alright. So I sort of just went off what he did, because I was going to buy it off him. They didn't come back to me, and I decided that I could do that with my own mower, and I wouldn't have to wait for it to come. So all she is your standard Siku one. They did do a sort of, I think it was a red and green one, I think. Well, I think most of it was red and a bit of green, or the other way around. They did one in the past, and obviously the black one with white rims seems to be quite, well, the newish one. I thought, you know, I could do it and it wouldn't look bad. She doesn't really need stickers, although it would make it look a bit more realistic. But yeah, she's not that bad. And obviously you can't get them off the shelf, so I thought may as well, because obviously this one is sort of a European kind of one, because you can get one from Ertel, which is kind of similar to Britain's, but they got like the American John Deere ones. It's not really the older ones, but that's not really what you see in the UK, and you kind of see these kind of ones. Well, the shape of the bonnet there. So just a small one. It took me about a day or two. Honestly didn't take that long. Obviously you can see the yellow is not painted the best. I haven't painted the underneath because obviously you wouldn't see that, but most of the green is sort of going over most of the black. But yeah, got a bit of green in the yellow seat there. It's a bit annoying. A bit of green on the tyre, doesn't really do much. Now the back tyres spin. The front ones are locked because the paint has got through, dripped obviously from the bonnet there onto the axle, and obviously you've locked it when it dried, but it doesn't need to be rolled. Then here we have your typical Siku Kuhn mower, which I do have one, and I bought another one because the one I bought was a second-hand one, and the hooks here had snapped off, so I got a brand new one, but kept that other one as a spare. And obviously everyone had a Kuhn or the Britain's class one, so I thought, on my old farm we used to have a 1340 mower. Now obviously it doesn't look much like a 1340, but then again you can't get a 1340 or anything that looked like it, so I thought I'd just paint it and say it's a 1340. So painted obviously top black, obviously everything else basically green, as it was in real life. Now the top wasn't actually on the 1340 mower we had, was just green, whole green, and it was metal instead of top, so there was like a little bit that protected the blades, but it wasn't fully covered like the Kuhn one. Basically, if you watch the Survivor roleplay, it was like the one we had, the 331 mower. It was that size, well, just a bit bigger, but that sort of shape and everything. So obviously I put the John Deere sticker there and the 1340 along there. Pretty proud of how that came out, to be fair. Not a bad mower. Then this, I believe, was the first one I did of the year. That was the second. That was the fourth, I think, and those two were towards the end of the year. So this was the first one I'd done. I was going to buy off someone who made these in the past, and he wasn't making them anymore. So basically all I did was ask him what he used and what he did or whatever. Like I said, any paint and whatever. And I was thinking, well, everyone has a fella rake, because Britons have never done a rake. Sicky have done a class rake, small one, in the past, and they've done a fella rake, which everyone seems to have, and I wanted to have something different. But the fella, I've actually never seen one in real life. It seemed to be a sort of, I haven't seen any in the UK, to be fair, so I'm assuming it's sort of in the Germany kind of area, France and all that. But there probably is a couple in the UK and Ireland, but I just haven't seen them. But a class one is quite common, and obviously without getting a Viking one, which was 70 quid, which I did have, I ended up selling it because I ended up making one myself. So yeah, so obviously painted Tynes red. I did exactly what he did. That was painted, it was not really painted, it was one of those little black pens, but it was sort of a matte kind of colour, and it was peeling off. It's quite flaky, so I painted over in black. He painted that bit green, and obviously the everything else green basically, and he did the sort of silver bars that are attached to the tines. I did them with a sort of pen thing I had. Then moving to the back, he painted them black, that green, the rims were red. They put a class sticker there, got the line of 2700 there on both sides, painted a white down the middle, and put a class sticker on each side of that there. So that was quite good. I think that took about a week, because obviously I had to dry it. I left outside, not overnight, but just before, as I was painting it, I left outside as it was, and I kept on having to do recoats, so sometimes I focus on the times for a full day to make sure they're all painted and then paint them again. I believe I started on a weekend, it might have been like on a Sunday night, so it wasn't done till like Friday or Saturday. So obviously that was, juggling that and school was kind of, I was working on it every night I could, really. And I was always focusing on one colour at a time, so one night I'd do white, one I'd do red, black, green, you know. And then I'd put the stickers on at the end. Now the stickers were a pain. I didn't actually PVA glue them, I put them on with the paint. And obviously with it, the paint, some of it was still fresh, so it would stick, but some of the white paint was getting onto the stickers, which was a bit annoying. But no, it turned out alright. Could have been better, but obviously it was my first proper conversion I've done. Moving on to what I believe was the last conversion of last year, was this Abit tanker. So I had this silver NC tanker. Now I was after a red one, but obviously they're rare, so I had to get a silver one, because I didn't have a slurry tanker, and I thought, you know, silver one, you don't see many NCs, especially silver ones, but also I didn't want to have something that everyone has. I kind of got bored and thought, you know, I wanted to have at least, for every slurry tanker I had, I wanted to have, so say if I had 4, I'd have 4 separate brands, because I've already got the NC roadside tanker, so I thought I could make it into an Abit. Now, it was very rough, it was very annoying as well, because I had to take, well, I took it apart, spray painted it, whatever, put tape around the black pipes there, but I had to also paint them black again, because it didn't really work, because the paint got through. But it turned out alright. The paint was a nightmare, because it was actually my first time spray painting something, so I primed it, spray painted it, and then spray paint was dead annoying and very sticky, just pain to work with. But you know, it turned out alright. Got proper Abit stickers from HL 2 inches. That side's the best side, because this one's just, from here it looks alright, but if you look from the top, there's like gaps there, and then if we turn to the back, just got the one sticker on the back there. I also had to paint that black again, cover the lights there. Yeah, it turned out alright, I guess. Taking it apart was alright, but yeah, it could have been better. Now I'll save my favourite to last. Now this was actually probably my first sort of conversion, I guess. I basically wanted a 7740 New Holland. I was going to paint the cab blue, but I didn't want to risk it with the beacon and making everything else blue. I didn't know what the right blue was, so yeah, it was a bit of a pain. So I sort of just left it as that, put the stickers on it, put strobes, New Holland badge on the front, straight pipe, wing mirror guards and CVs were on it, but I took them off, and the window sticker there. Originally it was a Ford 7740. Yeah, so it was alright. That's literally everything I did to it. Could have been better, but now I could paint the roof. But yeah, it turned out alright. I just wish I had the guts to paint the roof, because if I get it on the beacon there's no going back. So yeah, I just didn't want to really risk it. And then saving the sort of my favourite to last. Here we have a T6080 New Holland conversion. Added beacons, strobes, straight pipe, and wing mirror guards. New Holland sticker, sorry. Now, it doesn't have wing mirrors. I don't even know if I want to bother finding any, because obviously I'd have to take them off another tractor to make them look, to get New Holland ones. Long story was I wanted a T6020 or T6080. Now Britain's had done one in the past, but I didn't want to pay silly money for one when no one even had one. Although they did bring out a T6175, but I already had one on the farm, so I also didn't want to have two T6175s, even if they were different sort of ages. Just didn't really want to. Didn't want to do. I didn't want to do any. So instead of getting two T6175s, I remembered that Stephen, Mother Farmer 6710, he did a conversion during lockdown, and it was a TS, and he made it into a T6080. And I thought a T6080 wouldn't be a bad one, and you know, I could do it myself. Now I ended up buying a TS, and obviously that's what it is now, and obviously it doesn't come with wing mirror guards. I don't think the T6020 and the T6080 came with one mirror guards anyway. It's like wing mirrors, not guards though. But the T6020 I think comes with a loader, and I also didn't want a loader on it, so that was kind of, yeah. So I finished this, I think it was like November time. I printed the T6080 stickers off. Yeah, so I think they turned out alright, but from afar you can barely tell I printed out. But yeah, so also added number plate. So that's basically everything I want to do with it. I might add wing mirrors on it. Don't really want to, but I might decide at some point. So that is, I believe, this last or second to last conversion I did of 2024. Now, like I said, I have done probably more, but just not as big as these. Like the 7740 one's not even that big of a deal compared to the others, but still wanted to show it, as I've done a couple of things for it throughout the year. So yeah, so if you guys, to go to like, comment, and subscribe, and bye.